Okay, the first thing we need to do is we need to go into Launchpad or down in your bottom dock, and we need to find Adobe Animate. Go ahead and open up Adobe Animate. Then when you get here, you're going to click on More Presets. You're going to select the high resolution. Where it says width, I want you to type in 600. Where it says height, I want you to type in 660. Where it says frame rate, I want you to type in 6. Okay, and then you're going to click Create. Now we're going to go up to View, and we're going to go to Magnification and say Fit in Window. The other way you could do this is where you see this 100% right here. You can click the down arrow and select Fit in Window. Now to make sure your screen matches mine, there's a couple things I want you to check. If you would please go up to Window and then scroll down to Workspaces, I want you to have the basic workspace selected. So if you've been doing some tutorials, you'll have different ones. You might have a different one activated. I want you to select basic. Okay. Then I want you to go down to your timeline. In the top right hand corner of your timeline, you'll see 4 lines. You're going to click on that. I want you to select preview as your timeline mode. Okay. So by doing these two things, it will help you match my screen and have our icons be the same. Okay. Now we are going to start by creating a layer. If you look down here in your timeline, you'll see layer 1. If you double click where it says layer 1, I want you to type in the word name. Then you're going to click off of that and you're going to find the text tool. So if you look in your toolbar or your left-hand menu here, you're going to find the one that's a T. A shortcut for this is to press the T key on your keyboard. So then I'm going to click and hold, and I'm going to then type in my name first and last. If you look back at your original design, I have a lot of stuff going on toward the bottom. So for this, either the left-hand corner or the right-hand corner would be a good spot to put my name. Now we want to click on the select arrow, which is the top arrow at the top of the toolbar, and then you're going to click and drag your name to a place where it will be easy to see in your design. And I need to repeat this frame. So we want to repeat our keyframe for the number of frames that we have in our animation. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the frame in my timeline. Then I go to the top of my timeline. Where I go to the top of my timeline, I'm going to select Insert Keyframe. Okay, so this is the square with a dot in it, a black dot in it. And I'm going to do that until I have 12 of these same frames. So now that I have my name layer and all the keyframes for my name layer, to make another layer, you're going to go to the top left corner of your timeline. There is a square with a plus sign in it, and you're going to click on it. This will give you another layer that will be titled Layer 2. Then I'm going to click where it says Layer 2. I'm going to title it with the name of my object. So for me, I used egg. Next, I click on my first frame in number 1 in my egg layer. Then I'm going to go to the top of my timeline and I'm going to click Insert Keyframe until I have 12 blank keyframes in my timeline. Remember, we want these to be blank because we're going to add our photos to these frames. Now, in order to see my name on every screen, I actually need to flip the order of these two. So I'm going to click and hold the egg and drag it down the egg layer and drag it down below the name layer. Okay, once I do that, now my name should show in every frame. Okay, so one thing that can help with this is to not be in full screen. So if you have Adobe Animate, if you've got it in full screen, you're going to want to go up to the corner and click the green dot. You can also click the corner of the window and drag this over so that way you can see your desktop. You're going to double click on your Zoetrope folder. So I'm going to keep this just off to the side here. And I also want to make sure that I have keyframe number 1 in my object layer selected. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop my number 1 image into this frame.
Make sure your image is selected. You might have to click the selection arrow and click on it.
Once we have this, I'm then going to click over on this properties menu in my right hand menu here. Next to it, you'll see color align. We want to go to align. So we're going to click on align, and then underneath everything, you'll see it says align to stage. We want to make sure that this is checked. Okay, so make sure that you have this checked. Then you're going to go to match size, and the third one over should say match width and height. We're going to click on that. So that will increase the size of our frame to make it fit into our keyframe. Okay, now we're going to repeat this process. We're going to click on frame number 2 in our object layer. We're going to go find our number 2 image. We're going to drag and drop it. We're going to go back up here to the align. We're going to say match to frame. We're going to click on frame number 3, keyframe number 3 in our egg layer. We're going to go find our number 3 image, drag it over. We're going to go up to match size. We're going to click match width and height. Then we're going to go back to our egg layer. We're going to find frame 4. We find image 4, so the one that's numbered 4. We're going to bring that in, drop it. We go back into our align menu. We select match width and height. We click on keyframe number 5 in our egg layer or our object layer. We find our image number 5. We drag and drop. Then we go to our align menu. We match size, width, and height. We go back to our egg layer. We click on our keyframe number 6. We find image number 6. We drag it in. We match size and width and height. Okay. We click on keyframe number 7. In our object layer, we find image number 7. We drag and drop. We go back to align. We match height and width. We find keyframe number 8. We find photo number 8. We drag and drop, match height and width. We click on keyframe number 9. We find image number 9. We click on match height and width. We go to keyframe number 10. We find image number 10. We click match height and width. We go to keyframe number 11. We find image number 11. We click match height and width. We go to keyframe number 12. We find image number 12. We click match height and width. Okay, so now if you look back, you should have 12 frames with your name, 12 frames with your images. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on keyframe number 1, and then we are going to, since we've dragged in all of our images, we can expand our window here. So I'm clicking in the top right corner, dragging this over so I can see it better.
In your timeline above your frames, you will see the play symbol. Click on it and see how it animates.
Now we can see our animation. Okay, now one thing we want to do is we want to turn on the loop feature. So right next to play, you'll see the arrow that stands for loop. You're going to select that. This will set a blue bar above your frames. We want to click, hold, and drag until this blue bar extends from frame 1 to frame 12. Now let's try it. Okay, so you'll see my animation is looping. Now here's one thing you can try. If you go up to properties, up in the top right hand corner here, you can play with your frames per second and see if maybe a different frame rate works better for your animation. So you could increase it to 8 frames per second and then hit play. You'll notice it goes a little bit faster. Okay, so you're going to go to frames per second. You could take it down a little bit. So I could try 4 frames per second. Now this to me seems a little slow. So ideally, I think I'm going to go with 6 frames per second. Okay, once you have all this done, we need to save our animation. I'm going to go up to File. I'm going to do Save. Remember, you're going to click on Creative Cloud. So if your screen looks like this, click on the down arrow. You're going to select Creative Cloud. You're going to select your animation folder. You're going to go ahead and title this your name, first and last. And you're going to say Zoetrope Animation. Okay, then you're going to click Save. So this is saving our file so that we can continue to edit this. Now we're going to go back up to File. We're going to do Export. We're going to do Export Animated GIF. Once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and click Save. Again, go to Creative Cloud, Animation folder, and then you're going to go ahead and click Save. And this should save it as an animated GIF. Okay, once you've created your animated GIF, you're going to press and hold the Command, Shift, and 3 keys, and it's going to take a screenshot. You can see it pops up here and makes a camera click sound. Then that's going to drop on your desktop so you can check your desktop for it. You will need this when you go to turn in your artwork.